I can. It's so cute.
Hey guys, I'm Elle,
I'm Shana.
and we are here with our podcast finally, Fall Forward Podcast. We want to do this for a year now, and we are finally ready to put out our first podcast. And we're going to talk about things that inspire us and motivate us, and how we fall forward in life. And that's really it. Just like a real, natural, raw conversation with two best friends, and we hope that it inspires you and helps you.
Okay.
So, let's
We're
get
doing
started.
this.
Okay, you want to start or should I start? What should we do first?
I'm moving everything.
Let's talk about, let's just take turns now, thinking about something that we have recently been really inspired by, like a thought or an idea or something.
I have something really good. I heard a quote. It was really good.
Go.
You're gonna love it. It's so cute. It basically said, I don't remember exactly how it was said, but I heard it from Steve Harvey. Oh
Big
man. He said basically you can't drive a car with only looking in the rearview mirror.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
You have to move forward and stop always dwelling on the past or what past. The whole point of the rearview mirror is just to see whatever went and where you're going, or to prevent you from, you get it.
To make sure you're going in the right direction.
Yeah. And it really hit me. I was like, oh wow,
I love that.
That's a good one. I know.
I love that.
Such a good one.
Something that I actually was posting about this today, that I heard such an amazing thing by Dennis Prager. You ever heard of Dennis Prager?
Yeah. I'm not 100%, but I know the name, and I probably would recognize the voice.
Very cool guy. He's 78 years old, but he has the same energy as us. Super cool guy. Yeah. So he said that happiness is a moral obligation. So what that means is that you're not supposed to be happy because it's good to be happy. It's for yourself. It's a selfish reason. You are required to be happy. You're required to brush your teeth. Meaning, if you walk around with bad breath, it's nasty for everybody. If you walk around with a smile and frown on your face with bad vibes, it's nasty to other people.
Right.
It literally affects other people. You have to be happy when you're walking around people because it's contagious. And this book I was reading, this lady, massive Rebbitzin, she said that when she's happy, the smile starts on her face and travels to her heart. You don't feel happy and then you smile. You smile and then you feel happy.
Right.
So I love that. So it's very important to be happy.
It's so important. Sometimes, also when you work on yourself, and some people might think it's oh, you're being selfish and stuff, but sometimes being selfish is making you happy, and it is a benefit.
Yeah.
It's
it's not selfish, it's for other people.
You have to invest in yourself.
Yeah, and it is for other people. It affects other people. It's always contagious. Whether you're not working on yourself, you pull people down around you. When you're working on yourself, it totally affects other people. We see that with ourselves, with our relationships.
For sure. Also, you want your outside to look good, you get dressed. You want your something to look good. You want your soul to be good, you need to be happy. It's you need to dress your soul.
I love it.
No, but I'm serious. You need to work on everything.
True.
You only get this life once.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, your soul needs to be fed.
Yeah.
You're hungry, you eat.
Yeah.
You want to look good, you get dressed. You're cold, you put on a jacket. If you want to be happy, you must work on yourself. You must invest. You must take the time. You must do whatever it is. And it should be brushing your teeth or,
Yeah.
whatever,
And it's so true what you're saying. You know how important it is. It's very harsh, but I think Rabbi Nachman says this, that God can't be among somebody who's not happy. He can't rest within you if you're not happy. It's so important for you to be happy, because then you could have his presence with you, and then you feel calm and you have peace of mind.
That's so crazy you're saying that, because as you were saying, I was thinking about it. Every time I'm in my happiest stage where I feel happy, I have a better relationship with God. Is that weird?
Yeah, because he could only be with you.
Yeah, in my best times, if I had a really good week, most likely I probably prayed every single day in that week.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm very, very he is part of my happiness. It's so weird. It sounds so.
No, but it's true. But it's very hard to say, because you don't want people to think when you're sad or you're depressed or you're whatever, God's not with you. There's a difference between having a broken heart. Of course, God's with you. God's always with you.
Right.
But the closeness of when he's literally resting in you.
Yeah.
That's when you're happy. Not he rests in you and then you're happy. You're happy and then he's he wants to be with you.
Yeah, it's easier to connect. For me, it's easier to connect to God in my happier stage than in my sad stage.
Because he's with you.
Even though for some people it's easier when they're sad.
Yeah,
I've heard people say that before, but for me it's when I'm really, really happy, some reason I have like more time and patience and do like more like I don't know, I can't explain it.
I think for me it's a very big difference. Like I remember being very close to God when I was like very heartbroken and traumatized and broken, but it was a completely different relationship.
I know.
It was a more
I also
distant,
do. I know you're talking about like
it was a more distant God. When I'm happy,
it was more like pleading for his love, and then like there it's like being in love with him.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. You're like, please be here for me. Like,
exactly.
I need you.
You're like,
and
he's
then,
far. You're like,
you feel like when you're sad, you feel like he's far.
Yeah.
When you're happy, you feel like he's there.
Exactly.
I feel you resting inside.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's so, people think it's so hard to be happy, but literally this Represent said is so good. Represent Esther Youngray, she wrote this amazing book called Life as a Test. Phenomenal. I need to give it to you. It's really good. Also really easy to read. She said, I said this, but I need to say this again. You don't feel happy and then you act happy. You just smile, like fake smile, and then you literally feel happy. It starts on your face.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like fake it till you make it.
Exactly. Fake it till you make it. And if you want to be happy, you just need to have faith. Like that's.
But you were saying before, like, oh, it's not so hard to be happy. Sometimes it really is. Like sometimes it does have to take work to like. Sometimes you feel like so, and like you feel like sometimes when you're so upset, you want to like stay and like hurt yourself. But you have to like work to be happy.
Yeah.
But then the payoff.
Yeah, but I didn't say this right. I know. What I was trying to say is, you think you have to have all these things to be happy.
No,
but you don't have to have anything to be happy. It's a struggle. Of course, it's the hardest thing to be happy because the whole part of life is that you're battling with yourself to be happy, to focus on things you don't have, you know?
I feel like nothing good comes easy, and I feel like people have to like really, really know that it comes with everything in life, that you really want something, you have to work for it. Being happy is not going to come to you. You have to really figure out what it is that you like, what else you do, what makes you feel good, and like constantly do these things to continue the happiness. And like maybe God is also part of my happiness that helps me keep like being happy, but I think being happy is definitely something that I continue to work on. But once I'm like on that like path, it's like it's so much easier. You know what I mean? Once you're in it, once you're already happy in a good state of mind, it's easier to be happy. But it's definitely not easy to get it from like being in a sad.
Pull yourself out of it. Oh, it's so hard, but
it's so worth it. This
is what we want to talk about. Like, this is the topic of our thing. Why do we call it fall forward? Because you will never get through life without falling down. You're gonna fall down. You don't
Everyone does.
You don't live. You're not living if you don't fall down. You're not.
Who said it? What was it? What's his name?
Morgan Freeman.
No. Morgan Freeman. Denzel Washington. He said, if you don't fail, you're not trying hard enough. If you don't fail,
you're not even trying.
He said it like 100 times. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. Like it can't be that everything just comes like that. It's impossible.
You're not doing enough. You have to fall.
Yeah, and you can't expect it. I mean, you can expect it, but you can't expect everything to like just, you know.
Yeah, you gotta work hard. You definitely gotta work hard.
Yeah.
And the harder you work at it, it's like so worth it. Like
I know. I have a friend who like she was doing what is it called, real estate?
Yeah.
And she did it. I think she took the test like 9 times. Oh my gosh. But then like everyone takes a real estate test, like, you know, like a lot of people do it. But when she got the 9 times, like the excitement that was on her face, it was like so priceless, because she was like, I don't care how, every time she failed, she cried. Like I saw her, she's like, I failed again, but like I'm still gonna, she was right away, she's like, I'm gonna do it again. And I was like, even I lost faith in her, to be honest. I'm being straight up. I was like, how is she wasting so much time of her life? But the 9th time, like, just want to tell you, when she got the test, first of all, she doesn't speak English. She like totally, once she got the test done and she was actually doing it, this girl knew more knowledge than anyone.
She was like an expert.
She knew the whole entire test by heart by the 9th time. Like, she was good at it.
Wow, I love it.
But
I love it. Resilience is like when you don't give up, and that's like the best thing to have.
Yeah.
Like, if you could, I hear this from people, like if you could teach your kid one thing, teach them resilience, because resilience is no matter what happens to them, they're always fine. Yeah. You know. And another good word is like equanimity. Equanimity is like to always feel, I know, it's like I can't even pronounce it, but it's to always feel the same inside no matter what's happening. Like, you have this
That's
core.
Definitely something you have to like build.
Yeah, but even if you can only get it 10% of the time, you're good. just work towards it. It's literally no matter what happens, no matter what anybody says, no matter what, everything else is out of your control. But what you have control is how you feel inside. And if you could just like work towards that, or even like want that, it's like, it's just a really good place to be.
I feel like if there's something that you really want, like in the future, and you're so focused on it, that falling is just like, you don't even notice it. You're like, I'm still getting there. Like, like if you really want something so bad and you really see it, regardless of the situation, you're gonna get there because you really
have your eye on the goal and you're gonna have it. There is a
it's like when you see the light, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, like the tunnel's annoying and long, but
and even if you keep falling and slipping and you're like lost, you know it's there. I heard something so good about this, that it was like, let's say God decided that you're gonna have to go on 100 dates until you find your soulmate. And somebody actually knew this. Let's say they actually knew this. So every time they would go on a date and they would get rejected, instead of being like depressed about it, they would be so excited because they would be like, I'm just getting closer to that 100th person. And it's like that with everything in your life. Every time you're rejected, you don't get it. You're literally getting closer to what you're supposed to have.
Also, sometimes when you're rejected or fail in something, if you take it the right way, it can be a great learning. And every learning is another step. And another step is like, so many times I can say this happened in my life where something happened bad that wasn't, I thought at the second, whoa, so mean, why did God do this to me? But now looking at it, I'm like, I learned so much from that situation that right now I don't think I can ever get into another situation like that, because it had such an effect on me. In a good way. But it happened in a way where I might have to cry, I might have to go through pain, whatever, but that was the way it got into me, and that's the way it scarred me. And instead of like sitting with the negativity of it, I like learned and like, you know.
I love it. I was just telling one of my friends this. I was like, there's some things that like we made decisions in our lives that really hurt us, right? But I don't feel like I made, not that I'm perfect, I made a lot of things, made a lot of mistakes, but I don't look at them as mistakes because I learned so much from them, like you're saying. And I literally, it made me into a person that I really wanted to be. So I think it's really important, like when you look back at stuff, that's the whole thing. Like God says, like, you can't see me from in front, you can only see me from behind. Like what does that mean? You could only see him looking back. Otherwise there's no challenge in having faith, which is what you get reward for.
I really do think that a lot of times we go through stuff in life and like we still feel like, oh, why did we do that? Why did we do that? But like, I know there's a reason behind it. Even if right now I don't like, there is stuff in my life that I regret that I did. And I still don't know why I did it and why I'm still living with the effect of it. But I know eventually that it's for something.
So you see, that's faith. That's bottom line what faith is.
For sure.
That's faith. And faith is the only way that you could be happy. You cannot be happy without faith. Right? Because you don't know everything. We don't know everything. We can't see everything. But like eventually you will.
I think if people do the live and learn situation and really get it, it's kind of like faith.
Faith is
it's like live and learn is faith.
But like live and learn is like you already learned it, so you already kind of know what you had to learn. Faith is like when you don't know what you had to learn
because
yet.
if you went through something and you didn't learn from it and you're just like, oh, I went through this, blah blah blah, and like live with it.
You're right.
You're not having faith because you didn't. But if you got to the point where you're learning from it, you're like, okay,
then
the reason
good for you.
I feel like,
but having even more faith is like another level of faith. Is when you don't even know what you're supposed to learn yet, and you're like, it's still hurting you. You didn't learn from it yet, or you're even in it still, and you just have faith. You're like, I know it's good.
I have a situation right now where I'm like in that situation where I'm like still hurting from it, but I'm like, I know it's gonna work out. It's all gonna be good.
But you know,
we all know, right?
Right,
but
exactly. But it's life. It's also like you think like right now, like this is it, like that we're gonna stop being hurt from whatever it is that we're hurting from right now, and then it's gonna be rosy. No, this is life. It's always gonna be something new. Like
I think, by the way, that whole situation, like tying down to like being happy in God, is like if you have faith, you're happy, because if you know that that it was for the best, you're happy now. You're like, okay, it's for the best. Like I'll figure it out. Like
I don't think you could be happy without faith, because where are you getting your happiness from? Because there's always stuff. Something could always go wrong. You don't know what's going to happen in your life. If you have faith, you know, like there's something out there that cares about me, that loves me, that's got me. Like I know it's always for the best. Then you're good.
Faith is so important. Also, another thing you need to work on.
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing to work on.
What does faith mean to you? And then I'll tell you what it means to me, because I think that's really, really, really important.
Such a tough question.
Should I answer first? Or you go?
No, you answer because I need to think about it.
To me, faith means, like, I'm a Capricorn, so, like, I don't believe, like, in predicting my future or horoscope or anything like that, but I do believe that we're born with a certain tendency. And as a Capricorn, I'm very earthly. Like, I'm grounded, and I'm, like, I like to control things. I'm not a control freak, but, like, I like to know what's happening and plan everything and, like, rationalize everything and be very logical. And to me, faith is the complete opposite of my nature. So you have to let go of everything, literally surrender to God. And when you do, and you just, like, literally let go and surrender to God, which is breaking my nature, to me, that's faith. And it's not like I want it to work out this way, or I want it to work out this way, or I know what's good for me. I don't know what's good for me. Like, I had to learn that the hard way. Like, only God does. And to me, that's faith.
For me, faith is very similar. I feel like I went through a lot of very traumatizing stuff over my years of life. And, like, some people would be like, oh my, like, to be honest, I could have been in a really ugly hole.
Yeah.
Straight up. I could have been, like, I don't even know where. I don't want to think about it. But when I think about it and I think where I am now, I realize that I'm, like, have so much faith, because I realize all those things brought me to where I am right now. Like, everything, even, like, I don't know, things like family members that I learned from not to do or yes to do, or things that I take on in my life or don't take on, or decided to go a certain way or didn't go a certain way from things, like all those things that happened to me in my life. I realize that I have so much faith because I don't dwell on the bad of all of those things.
Yeah, that's very good.
Like, that's how I know I have faith, because I could for sure dwell on bad stuff that happened to me, and I
really
choose not to. I really choose not to. It is letting go, and I don't even notice. It's letting go, but it's also not, because I'm taking control of the bad situation and I'm learning from it.
Of how
my control
of how it affects
you. Oh my God, you want to know a really good thing that I heard?
Yeah.
If you can't control, if there's something happening that you can control, take control of whatever you can.
I love it.
That's what I mean. Like, that's my faith. Like, I know there's stuff that I can't control, so I'm just like, Kate, whatever, you know, I can't control whatever. But there is things I could control, and I really take advantage of those things. Yeah. And it really helps me to go.
It's very important.
I feel like I have a hair in my mouth. For the 5 minutes, I'm just like...
It is very important, because when you say, like, let go and surrender, it's not like be a doormat and let God just, like... He's not a puppeteer. Like, you're not a freaking puppet. I just mean, like, there's... Like, most of your life you can't control, but what you can control is the equanimity, which I was saying is how...
word.
I know. I just love it because the meaning, but I can't even say it right. It's just control you. You could control you. You control your feelings. You control your reaction. You control your thoughts. You can control what you say, what you do. All that stuff you can control. What you take from things. Yeah, you could let stuff totally wipe you out.
So true. It's so true, and it's such a
100%.
I'm so lucky that I got to this point in my life, because I was not always like this. I was the type that, like, if something bad happened, like, that stuff dwelled and sat inside of me for so long, and it, like, brought me down. Now I'm just like, whatever, next. Yeah. And also, I always think about it like, oh my God, this hair.
Now you can see we're not editing or anything.
Also, there's like, I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying that you weren't like this. Like, you used to sit in it.
I used to sit in it and dwell, and, like, to be honest, wasn't happy because of that.
Yeah.
Now that, like, I learned to, like, okay, whatever, I know I'm going through something hard, but I have this good, and I have that good, and that good, and that good.
Yeah.
And then somehow everything always works out. I know it sounds so annoying and cliche and blah, 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 but, like,
done this. We've been there. We've done the other way. We've both done the other way.
I know. We definitely
We've sat in our garbage. We've sat in it. We've been the victim. We've been, you know.
Playing victim to me is so...
self-sabotaging.
I just want, when I see people, like, being victim, I just want to be like, I promise you there's a way out. Just, like, find it.
I want to say that,
but you can't say it to someone because it's like,
because there's a difference between being a victim and being heartbroken. There's a difference between being depressed and being heartbroken. If something hurts you, you have to get depressed and
heartbroken now. But I don't play victim.
They're sitting in it. You can't sit in it. You have to pick yourself up, and that is the hardest part to get out of it. But then the high that you get is better than any high you can get in your life.
Yeah, you know, like, sometimes, like, I have, like, such a crazy life story, but sometimes when I, like, say bits and pieces to random people, and they're like, oh my God, it's so hard, but I'm like, no, it's not. And, like, something I think about, I'm like, to them, it's, like, probably sounds so scary, but I'm, like, so like whatever past it that I'm just like whatever. Like I just like say it like no big deal. Like you know what I mean? And like I think that comes from like being not a victim.
Yeah.
So some people don't like. Some people are like. They're like waiting for me to be a victim over the situation. I'm just like, no,
By
whatever.
the way, as long I know Shana since she's a teenager. Like we know literally, I know her since she's a little young teenager, and she was never a victim. I have to say that's not the case for me.
That's not true. I was such a
no, you weren't. You were always very you never walked around and said like, oh, this went wrong in my life. I didn't even know your story because you didn't even talk about it. I feel like I played more of a victim. I didn't realize, but I definitely sat on my garbage. I feel like more than you did. No. I didn't realize.
I probably just didn't show it.
Me neither.
But different types of situations that happen in my life. But there is some situations that I right away was like, I'm not playing victim over this.
Yeah.
And then like you know what's crazy? Sometimes I hear people with the same situation, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for them. Yeah. And then I'm like, wait,
I did this and I was fine.
Yeah, like I hear their story and I'm like, I have sympathy for them. But then like for me, I'm just like, I'm good. I don't know.
Yeah. But they say that like when the Boston bombing happened, people that were watching it on TV got more traumatized than the people that actually were there. Mm-hmm. It's like a very interesting. I see
that a lot with the news in Israel.
Yeah, when
some people are scared of like Israel more than like the Israelis that live there.
Right. The whole point is like. When you're going through something, first of all, like I know this is cliche, but it's true. God doesn't put you through something that you can't handle. So you obviously were able to handle it. I'm not taking away from it, but my point is you go through it and you're able to handle it, and it was really good for you, even though it sucked at the time. But somebody hearing it, like kind of gets, it's called vicariously traumatized. I'll never forget when I met Judah and I'm like, I want you to know everything about me. I told him my whole story. He got vicariously traumatized.
Yeah, because when you hear it all at once,
he got more traumatized than me.
You know, it's so funny.
It was terrible.
That was so funny you're saying that because I was talking to someone like recently, and they were going through some stuff, and I happened to like mention some stuff in my life, and you know, my life sounds so scary and stuff. So she was like, write a book, and I was like, I don't want to traumatize people.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like if people read my book,
did I traumatize you when I wrote my books?
No, also because I know you now.
Okay.
If I didn't know you now.
You see, I would traumatize.
You have to finish her book. Like you can't read it in the middle and then stop, because then you will be traumatized. You need to like see the outcome. No, your book was written really well. But if someone read my book,
I tried not to make it traumatizing. But so why do you think your book would traumatize people? You think it's worse stuff?
I feel like there's no ending yet.
I hear that.
I feel like I'm still in the middle of my book.
I don't agree.
Is that weird? No. There's some parts that do have endings to it.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, but I hear what you're saying.
But there's still. I feel like like it doesn't have an ending. No, it does have an ending because I am happy right now and I'm doing well and everything is good. But if someone told someone that like where I am right now from somewhere else, they'll be like, oh my god, poor thing. But I'm not poor thing. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm not. And like, I don't know. Some people like. Okay, let's say the single mom thing. People will be like, oh, she's a single mom. Yeah. I don't look at it as a downfall at all.
No.
And if anything, I like. So appreciate that I had a son in my 20s and like young and
he's heaven beyond heaven.
And he's like, I don't know, some people will be, I don't know, to be honest, if I didn't have him, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
Same thing, like,
I know
he forced me to like be stable and like settled, and like sometimes I see people my age and like been through similar stuff to me and they're not where I am, and I'm just like so happy and proud to like, I don't look at my single mom being another case, you know what I'm saying? And some people would.
Yeah, I don't know if you would run 3 or 4 or 5 businesses if you weren't a single mom.
I know. It's just...
By the way, that's my best friend. But I just want to tell you, we're already at 23 minutes, so I think we should wrap it up. But we're going to be here every week. So maybe let's end... Did you say a good quote already? How could we end this like on a good note? Let's we're gonna just like keep this raw, right? So let's both share like one quick thing that we're both working on to like help, maybe in case like other people are working on it, or to inspire somebody to like work on things. Also to like really show you like we're the happiest we've ever been in our life.
Does it have to be like it can be anything. It could be like physical or anything.
Whatever it is, like something that we're working towards, something we're struggling with, something that I don't know. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I was just trying to think of something to end with.
This is gonna sound so mean, but I'm working on telling people the word no. Is that like so mean?
No, but this is so similar to what popped into my head.
It's so crazy. But like I get really working on people telling me like, I'm so sorry, but no.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
But Shana, we're on the same page, because what I wanted to say is I actually told Judah this the other day. I need to work, like, I don't lie to people, but like I would rather be nice to you than like tell you like straight up. Like not with Judah, not with like my best friends, but like with random people, like I don't say it like to the point. Like I try to say it like in a nice way, and I'd much rather be like straight up. Like, let me just tell you, even if it hurts, not in like a bad way, but just more like, I love when people are straight up with me, and I want to be more straight up with people instead of like beating around the bush. Not constructive
or just like straight just up with anything.
If I do want to do something, I don't want to do something, like saying no, but also like really saying how I feel. Like, don't give fake compliments. I'm not saying I do that, but it's more of like really saying how I feel and not being like political.
I know
you know what I mean?
Like saying no.
Yeah,
like I want to help you, and
right,
and I probably could.
And you don't have to make
but
up an excuse.
But the stress that I'm gonna have to help you is gonna take away from something that is more important to me, and then I'm gonna give up something for you, which is not fair for me. So no.
Or like if somebody hurts, but also the same thing, if somebody hurts you, like instead of me, I would always be like, no, it's fine, but like, no, I should say something. Like, be honest. Yeah. Be more honest. You know,
like people have to accept the word no.
Yeah, and I think it's very important for us to be ourselves, because
so that's something I'm working on, not in a bad way. Really, not in a bad way. Also, like only like obviously if I can do something and it's not I'm always gonna run to say yes, but if it's hurting me, I'm saying no because it's hurting me, not because I don't want to, not because I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's there's a reason behind it. So if someone says no to you, just accept it.
Yeah, and if somebody is really honest with you, appreciate it and don't take it personally. Like, just appreciate that they're really being true to themselves.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I love you. That's me and Shana. Thank you for watching, and we hope that it helped you somehow.